Hello, and thank you for listening to Texas History for Kids. I'm your host, Michelle Gallegos, an educator, writer, history nerd, and novice investigator. Each week on the show, we will learn about interesting parts of Texas history, from battles and historical figures to the odd and enchanted. Hi, and welcome back to Texas History for Kids. This is episode number 102. I'm your host, Michelle Gallegos, and with me today is
Zoe.
All right, so today we have a small silver whistle. It doesn't look like much, but listen to this. Now, if I were a mockingbird, the official state bird of Texas, by the way, I could copy this sound perfectly. And the sound of a car alarm, and a barking dog, and maybe even Zoe.
Okay, first of all, rude. Second, I am very interested in any bird that can imitate me. That sounds slightly dangerous. Here's what I want to know. Why did Texas choose a bird that copies everything? What makes this bird so important?
Let's step into our imaginary museum gallery, Zoe. Picture a glass case brightly lit up, and inside is a delicate mockingbird feather, gray and soft, with a white streak on one edge. And next to it, a recording device from the 1920s. That's because people have been fascinated with this bird's talent for over a century. The Northern Mockingbird can memorize and perform over 200 different sounds. Scientists believe males sing more than females, mostly to show off and claim their territory. Guess what their playlist includes?
I know of a song called Mockingbird written by a certain rap artist.
Yes, I'm sure you do, Zoe, but this is a PG-rated podcast. And although we love his songs, it wouldn't be appropriate to talk about them on this show. And besides, that song has nothing to do with the playlist these beautiful singing birds have created. No, these birds like to imitate, well, other birds, of course.
What else?
Well, they like to imitate things they hear in their daily lives, like squeaky gates, other animals like frogs and insects like crickets. They even imitate car alarms and sometimes humans.
So this bird is basically that kid in school who can copy everyone's voice and likes to prove it at recess?
Yes. Have you ever played that game where you repeat what someone says and it annoys them?
Have you ever played that game?
Yes, Zoe, that game where you repeat somebody and it annoys them. Well, I'm not sure if the mockingbird's goal is to annoy others, but they do like to be the playback or repeat button in nature. Long before TikTok impressions or voice changers, Texans admired another thing about the mockingbirds: their courage. Mockingbirds will defend their nests fearlessly. They'll dive, they'll zoom, and they'll swoop at anything that gets too close to them or their babies. Cats, hawks, people, even large dogs who didn't plan to bother anybody that day can get in the mockingbird's way. And they will defend with all they have. You can find them sitting high on a tall shrub, on top of telephone poles, or even the utility lines around your yard. You can also look for them running or hopping along your lawn, usually after it's been freshly mowed. This gives them easy access to the seeds or the small grub that have been disturbed during your mowing, which is also why a dog lying around the yard could get heckled by an angry mockingbird. Their bravery and loyalty earned attention, and in 1927, the Texas lawmakers made it official. The Northern Mockingbird became the state bird of Texas.
So how exactly did the mockingbird win Texas voters?
Well, to answer that question, we have to move on to the Texas Capitol in the 1920s. Back then, women had just gained the right to vote nationwide. You can take a listen to episode number 89 about women's suffrage in Texas. Now, during this time, schools were growing, Texas cities were expanding, and people wanted symbols that reflected the state's pride, its nature, and, of course, its cultural identity. Several states were choosing state birds. Texas was no different. We needed one too. Enter the mockingbird.
So how did it win over Texans? We're a tough group.
Well, the mockingbird had fans already. The Texas Federation of Women's Clubs was a powerful group that helped preserve parks and libraries, and they supported making the mockingbird official. Why? Because mockingbirds lived everywhere in Texas. They were easy for students to recognize by their sound alone. They represented beauty and bravery. On the nature side of things, they protected gardens and even farms by eating insects, which won over many farmers of the day. Not to mention, the oldest mockingbird on record was at least 14 years old when it was found. Where was it found? You bet, the great state of Texas. All of these things symbolize the spirit of the state of Texas. And in 1927, the state legislature said yes.
A vote for a bird that can copy the sound of a honking car? This is Texas.
Attention teachers and homeschool families, don't forget all about the resources that I create with my podcasts. Click the freebie link in the show notes and grab that Texas flag freebie, or click on the resources link to view my printable passages, those vocabulary lists, comprehension questions, debate activities, STEM activities, and art projects, and even some coloring pages. For more Texas history fun, head on over to txhistory4kids.com. Now back to the show. Now, scientists who study mockingbirds' behavior discovered something very interesting about these birds. They don't sing randomly. They repeat each sound about 3 to 5 times before switching over to a new one. Mockingbirds also have certain tidbits about their singing. They sing louder in the spring. If they're young or lonely, you'll hear them singing at night. The female mockingbird uses her vocal cords to attract a mate, but when danger is near, they sing louder songs to scare off those predators. And here's another tidbit about the mockingbird that many Texans might not like to share. Just because we like to think of ourselves as a unique state with its own unique features that no other state has. But the Northern Mockingbird is also the state bird of Florida, Arkansas, Texas, and Mississippi. Yes, we'll share our state bird with other states, no problem. But remember, the oldest mockingbird was found in Texas. And that has got to say something, doesn't it? All right, listeners, it is quiz time. Zoe, are you ready?
Born ready. Let's go. Question 1. Why was the mockingbird chosen as a Texas state bird? A. Because it's the biggest bird in Texas. B. Because it can mimic sounds and shows bravery protecting its territory.
A couldn't possibly be the answer because, as we know from episode number 9 of this podcast, the biggest bird in Texas is actually a tie between the jabiru and the whooping crane. So the correct answer is B. The lovely little mockingbird can mimic sounds and is a symbol of bravery because it protects its territory with all its might.
Question 2. About how many sounds can a mockingbird imitate? A. 10. B. 200. C. 1 million.
The answer is B. Around 200. Though some sing even more. Well, thank you for listening to Texas History for Kids. Hit that subscribe button and follow the show. More importantly, share it with others who might find it interesting too. And if you have any questions or stories you'd like for us to uncover, feel free to send me an email at michelle@txhistory4kids. And don't forget, The best Texas stories live just beyond the lessons in your classrooms, waiting for you to explore.
Stay curious.